Well, I did say that this season was just going to get crazier and crazier, but damn.
Hello.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric. Today we're talking Chucky Season 2, Episode 4, Death by Denial. A episode that goes completely bizarre, completely wacky, completely crazy, and is definitely the most unique episode so far in this entire TV series. Now, one thing I'll say, and the first thing that I was thinking after I watched this was, while I had some entertainment value with that, I didn't completely hate the episode, believe it or not. I did have to think to myself, if you're not a hardcore Chucky fan, if you don't really know the history of the Child's Play franchise and the lore and all of the occurrences in Seed of Chucky especially, and a few other movies, you're gonna watch this episode like, what the hell is going on? I mean, you're not gonna have a clue if you're just a casual Chucky fan, or you just stumbled upon this TV show in season 1 and thought, oh cool, Chucky, the little doll. Because really from the beginning, you can follow this TV show without an issue. You don't have to have seen all of the Chucky movies. Well, you better have seen Seed of Chucky by now, or you're not gonna have a clue what the hell is going on. Now, I am a pretty hardcore Chucky fan, so I have seen all the movies many, many times, including Seed of Chucky. It was my least favorite at the time, and it's probably still my least favorite movie in the franchise. That being said, I have dumb fun with that movie. I watched it. I still found some enjoyment in it, and I was actually excited when I heard, and I made a video on it like 3 years ago on this channel, that Glenn and Glenda would be coming back in this TV show, or at least there were rumors, and now those rumors have been confirmed. They are definitely back. It's cool to see them, and there are some interesting throwbacks, quite a few throwbacks to those movies. Again, stuff that only hardcore Chucky fans would catch. But this episode is kind of laid out to be like a murder mystery, all taking place at Tiffany's house, or Jennifer Tilly's house. To be honest, Tiffany just kind of took it over when she took over Jennifer Tilly's body. But the entire episode takes place there, and her butler is killed. We don't even know exactly what happened to him. And the murder mystery kind of begins, and it starts as kind of a play from Jennifer Tilly trying to play off the fact, Tiffany, who you know who I'm talking about, trying to play off the fact that, no, he's not really dead, because everyone kind of freaks out, of course, because, well, first of all her friends and family are there, which does kind of acknowledge a little plot hole from Seed of Chucky and thereafter, where you might say to yourself, wait a second, Jennifer Tilly has friends, Jennifer Tilly has family, Jennifer Tilly is a big name actress in Hollywood. Like, people would be like, what's going on, Jennifer? Why are you acting weird now? Because now she's not Jennifer Tilly anymore. Tiffany has taken over her body, probably not even a good actress anymore, probably, you know, a completely different personality, a completely different person. Well, that is addressed in this episode, where her friends and family show up. It's almost like an intervention. They're all there to ask Jennifer, Jen, what's wrong? You know, they call her Jen a lot. Like, what's going on? Why are you so weird? Why are you mad at me or whatever? You know, you haven't talked to me. Even her real life sister, her sister is there. Like, you don't talk to me. You don't call me. What did I do? She's like, oh, I forgive you. What did I do? And they throw in some pretty good comedy in here. I mean, I didn't laugh at everything, but I had a few laughs. This is an episode you probably think I probably hated based on, you know, my taste so far, but I've kind of accepted this is just going to be wacky and wild, and we are embracing everything, including Seed of Chucky. Everything is canon. Anything can happen. Hey, I enjoyed the first few episodes of season 1, almost all of the episodes actually of season 1, until the last couple kind of started to go downhill for me. And into this season, I was really enjoying everything going on in the school, and I'm looking forward to get back there with our main 3 teenage characters. I didn't even see a reason to bring Tiffany and all this into it. It's great to see, you know, Fiona Dora, because she's awesome, but with no arms and legs, it makes it difficult. And they did kind of start to address that in this episode, and I'll get to that. But overall, just to give my overall thoughts, like, okay, I had a pretty good time watching it, because I'm just accepting now that anything goes. Anything goes. Logic, forget about it. If something doesn't make sense, we go with it, man, because a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. We're going with it, baby. And one of those questions is, why don't Glenn and Glenda remember some of the killings and some of the things that happened? Because at the end of Seed of Chucky, they are relatively old. I don't remember, like 5, 6, 7 years old, maybe older. I'm not even sure. But they're little kids, and they should be old enough, and they witnessed some of these things. and they seem to have forgotten them. Now, maybe there's some PTSD, you grow older, you obviously can erase some of your thoughts and memories if they are too traumatic. So, okay, they seem to have forgotten a lot of their past and they're trying to kind of reconnect, with their mom and everything. But the cool thing is, I like about this is that Glenn is still kind of the sweet, kind-hearted individual. Glenda is the more mischievous. We kind of see that here. And Glenn stumbles upon Nika in a little flashback, and we know that she's going to try. They are going to try to help. And pardon me if I ever mess up the pronouns, don't get offended. Okay, I'm doing my best. Okay, it's new. Okay, we're not used to calling an individual they. That's very new. Okay, 40 years, she or he. And then now, after that's been completely ingrained, you're like, nope, you will refer to them as they. So they stumble upon, which is also confusing, to be honest, because then you think I'm talking about both Glenn and Glenda. So I have to specify. Glenn stumbles upon Nika and wants to help her, which is perfectly in their character because Glenn has always been a good person, very kind-hearted person. And then it gets pretty awesome at the end when they're gonna try to help her escape, and also a few times Chucky comes out, and those are some awesome scenes. And then there's finally the moment where they're going to actually kill the mom here, Jennifer Tilly. They're going to take her out. That's part of the plan because Glenn knows this is a terrible person, and Glenn has now reconnected with her dad a little bit because even Chucky came out and was like, I'm your father, and it's just crazy stuff, and it's wacky. It's all over the place. So that was a cool scene. Somehow she gets arms. Why they can work, not really sure. Don't know why you can throw some metal where they got the arms. I'm not even sure. I guess it was done over the period of time after Glenn stumbled upon her, and then when they executed the plan, Glenn was somehow able to get these arms on her. I kind of missed how that even happened or why they work. But apparently, she's able to move the arms. I start to think, I don't know if this was planned from the moment that she lost her limbs. I think that losing her limbs was just some awesome moment at the end where it's supposed to be a cool ending. But while you had a cool ending, it wasn't good for the franchise because now going forward, we have one of your most awesome characters in Nika with no arms and legs. So I think that this might have been written in just to give her some arms. So I don't know if she's going to be Robo Nika from here on out or Robo Chucky, when Chucky comes out. But anyway, the murder doesn't work because the gun is empty. And we find out later why the gun is empty. Because another character, one of Jennifer Tilly's friends, who has been mentioned also in Seed of Chucky, and they've worked together. Gina and Jennifer Tilly have worked together. So, in Hollywood, Gina's an actual actress. So she actually killed Joe, another actual actor we've seen in other shows and movies. He was in Bad Boys. He was in, of course, and mentioned here in this movie, that he was in The Sopranos. And it was I love that little argument between him and some of the guy who was just identifying him as the guy in the movie, in the show. And he's like, dude, that's not really me. I'm Joe. Okay. Pretty funny stuff. But all in all, the episode was just crazy, wacky, insane. And I enjoyed it for the most part. I didn't need the little Chucky sideline, the Chucky introduction, the Chucky in on the talk show. That was strictly to give us Chucky because they were afraid the fans would be pissed off if we didn't get actual Chucky killing somebody. But it was totally unnecessary. In fact, we did get Chucky because as far as I'm concerned, when Nika turns into Chucky, that's Chucky. She does such a great job. And she's even a Dorff. Fiona Dorff. She's the daughter of Brad Dourif. Dude, I'll take it all day. Brad Dourif is not going to do Chucky forever. And, I don't mind if someone else can portray Chucky in a great way and convincing. And I think she pulls it off pretty damn well. Pretty amazing. She's awesome. And this was just a wild episode. I do have some critiques. Obviously, the whole episode I have critique over because it's insane and it's not really the direction I want to see. But it's where we're going. I would have rather a fresh start for Don Mancini, a new Chucky story, or at least make the first 3 canon or something, the first 3 movies, or even the first 4, and we'll go from there and bring back Jennifer Tilly's voice. I don't care, but when you acknowledge everything, it just makes it crazy. But one thing I'm wondering is why, it seemed like Glenn and Glenda, I don't feel like they were the same. I know they've changed. Of course, they've changed. They're adults now. They've grown up in the United States. So obviously they appear to have lost their British accents, but I think it would have been cool to give them the British accents. Hire a couple of British actors or let these actors, if they can do it, sound like Glenn and Glenda. I want to feel Glenn and Glenda from the from Seed of Chucky. At least that would be a great throwback, and it would. I think it would have added a lot to the episode for the hardcore Chucky fans, because clearly this episode, this TV series, is made for the hardcore Chucky fans, because everything's canon. So if you've never seen Seed of Chucky, you don't know what's going on. If you've never seen, you know, Curse and Cult, you don't really know what's going on with the multiple Chuckies, with Fiona Dorff's character, you know, with Nico. We have no clue what's going on if you haven't seen these movies. You have to have seen everything or you're gone. You're completely lost. By the way, the variant I thought was hilarious, because Jennifer Tilly, and they were watching her and they thought she was putting on a show. It was all part of act. It was confusing as hell. Didn't even make any sense when it looked like that Nico was going to shoot her, and everyone, all her friends and family there, thought it was just part of the show. And when she finally leaves, and she's horrified because Nika gets away, and she's absolutely horrified, screaming, and she leaves, and it's this round of applause. They're like, brilliant, brilliant. It was kind of funny. Okay, I laughed at that at the end. It was pretty funny. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the teenagers at the school and then ground this a little bit if possible. Okay, I was even ready to deal with the multiple Chuckies. I was ready to deal with that, and that you had the scout Chucky, you know, checking things out, and you have, you know, maybe the craziest killer Chucky. You have the boss Chucky called the Colonel or whatever. I was ready to deal with all that, but this episode, what the freak? And I was hoping he was going to pull that trigger and Chucky was going to go boom, 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 and take out Jennifer Tilly. I was hoping for it, because I love Jennifer Tilly and I love Tiffany, but she has been played out. It's time to move on and maybe just use the voice, which should have been done after. As far as I'm concerned, they never should have brought Jennifer Tilly as a real person, as an actor who just happens to look like Tiffany. I thought that was just stupid. A little bit better than other movies have done that are actually supposed to be, while they have a comedic tone, they're supposed to be fairly serious movies, like Ocean's 11. If you guys remember that franchise, just on a side note here, they actually had Julia Roberts' character in that movie look just like the real Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts then existed, I think it was in Ocean's 12. I don't think it was 13, I think it was 12. And it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it really pissed me off. I'm like, you really, that's the best y'all can do? Now, Julia Roberts exists. The actual actress exists within the franchise. She just happens to look just right. She doesn't look like her. She is her. And they did the same thing in Chucky, which, okay, Chucky's a little more wacky, at least by Seed. So it's a little more acceptable. It's still, I never liked it. So let me know what you guys think of this episode. I mean, I don't even know what to grade it. I don't know what to grade it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 just for the entertainment value, and I got a few laughs out of it, and I had some entertainment and some fun with it, but overall, not in my favorite direction. Just too cuckoo, too crazy. I want serious Chucky, and with Chucky making his quips and making his jokes, and he's humorous, but other than that, this shit is horror. This was not horror. This episode was not horror. I don't know what, there was a murder mystery with some laughs and some humor that didn't work, and overall, I don't know what the freak is going on, but we'll see from here on out, ladies and gents. But we're running out of gas. We're running out of fuel in the Chucky franchise with Don Mancini. I'm telling you that. Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you next time.